Hello and welcome to my channel Code with Vinay. In this video, we'll see how we can check a word for palindrome recursively. Palindromes are words that read the same way forwards and backwards. Recursion is a technique in computer science that involves a function calling itself. In case you need to brush up your knowledge of recursion, then you can watch my earlier video where I explain the concept in detail. I'll share the link in the description below. One possible approach is to modify our recursive reversal method, that is the program which we developed in the last video, to recursively reverse a string and then compare the reverse string with the original. Something like this. We'll say public static boolean because we want to check whether or not it is a palindrome. We'll call it is palindrome. We'll pass the string which we want to check for being a palindrome, and when I say string I mean a word. And then from within the function, we'll say return. We'll first reverse the string and then we'll compare it with the original, that is str again. So here in this case, what will happen is we are reversing a string and then we are comparing it with the original. If it equates, then it is a palindrome, else it is not a palindrome. But this approach is not a very good one, as it involves too many recursive calls. Here the number of recursive calls will be equal to the number of characters in the string. So we'll employ a different method which is more efficient, and this method will require half the number of recursive calls. Let us see how. The word which we want to test for palindrome is stored in a variable called str. For the purpose of this example, our word is madam. We will extract the first and the last characters from the string and then we'll check if they are same or not. If they are not equal, it means that our word is not a palindrome and will return false. However, if the first and the last characters are equal, it means that for now at least, it's a palindrome, and we'll make the recursive call after removing the first and the last character. So this time the new value of str will be ADA after removing the first and the last characters. Again, since this is recursion, we'll perform the same set of operations on the variable str. We'll again extract and compare the first and the last characters. If the extracted characters are not same, we'll return false. Otherwise, we'll again make a recursive call. Since the extracted characters are equal, in this case A is equal to A, we'll again recurse. This time the value of str is D. Now since a single character is a palindrome by itself, we'll return true. So our exit condition is, if the length of the argument is 1, we return true. Now, in this case, the original word was of odd number of characters and we remove 2 characters each time, so we are left with 1 character in the end. If the number of characters are even and we remove 2 characters each time, we'll be left with 0 characters in the end. For example, observe this case of a 6-letter palindromic word pull up. We'll first remove the 2 P's and then we'll remove the 2 U's and finally the 2 L's, and in the end we'll be left with an empty string. So considering the 2 cases, the exit condition should be, if the length of the string is 1 or less, then we'll return true. Now it's time to convert this logic into code. We'll start with the function declaration. We'll first declare the function is palindrome. So public static boolean is palindrome. Then we'll accept a string as an argument, and then our actual work will begin. So if str.length is less than or equal to 1, we'll say return true. Then we'll extract the first and the last character. So if str.char at 0, 0th character is the first character. If it is not equal to the last character, that is str.char at, and the last character will be at str.length minus 1th position. So str.length minus 1. And here I would like to, let me correct this spelling first. And here I would like to emphasize on one point that even though length is a method, it doesn't do something very intense inside the function. What it does is it simply returns the size of the character array which is storing the string. So str.length will take very less time. It's not that it is a method, so it's doing a lot of stuff. So if it is not equal, we'll say return false. And finally, if this is not the case, we'll again make the recursive call. We'll say return is palindrome. And instead of the string, we have to pass the string by removing the first and the last character. And for that, we'll use the substring method. So str.substring. And then we have to pass the starting position. Starting position is 1. We want to leave out the 0th character, so we'll start with 1. And we want to leave out 1 character from the end also, so we'll say str.length -1. So this is it. And let us auto format this code so that it looks better. Done. And now we'll write our test case. So system.out.println is palindrome, and we'll pass the string. So let's say the first string is madam, and this should give us true. We'll make a copy of this line, we'll paste it again, and then we'll have our second example, and that was pull up. And then we'll again paste it once more, and this time we'll give something which is not a palindrome, that is a false case. So here we'll say, let's say code. So if I run this program now, let's see what happens. So we are getting true, true, and false, which means that our program is working perfectly. For better understanding, let us animate this code. We'll start with the initial value, that is madam. We'll check the length of madam. The length of madam is 5. 5 is not less than or equal to 1. The condition will be false. So we'll move to the next line. Now we'll extract the first character and the last character. In this case, both are m. So the 0th character is m, and str.length -1th character is also m in this case. So now it will check for the last character. Five -1, that is, it will extract the 4th character now. 4th character is m. And then we'll check the first and the last character, that is m against an m. This is equal, so it will go to the recursive call again. And now we'll remove the extra portion, that is the characters which have already checked. So we'll take out characters from 1 till length -1. So length is 5, 5 -1, 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4th character will be taken out, that is 1 to 4. And this time we'll get ADA. Now this is the new string for the next recursive call. And also notice the stack is being made over here. So we'll start with ADA. Again, we'll check the length. Length is not less than or equal to 1. We'll move on to the next condition. That is, we'll extract the 2 characters, first and the last again. This time A will come out. Both have the first character and the last character. Now, even though we are not testing for an invalid case, if they are not equal, we'll straight away return false. So the length is 3. And then we take out the last character. 3 -1, that is 2. So again, 0, 1, 2, ADA. A will be extracted. And this time it is also equal. So the condition is for not equal to. So we'll again make the recursive call. So this time only the D will come out. 3 minus 1 is 2. And we take out from 1 to 2. That means 1 to 1 will be taken out because the second character is not actually extracted. So now D comes out. D becomes the next string for the next recursive call. And this time the length is equal to 1. And like we discussed earlier, a single character is a palindrome by itself. And this time we'll return true. And this true will be returned to the calling is palindrome, then again to the is calling palindrome, and then it will finally move on to the main. So let's see. True is computed, and then true will start returning to all the calls which were made and which were stored on the stack. So there we go, and finally the true is printed. That's it for this video on checking for palindrome using recursion. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and informative. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Your feedback is valuable to me. I want to make sure that my videos are clear and helpful. You can follow me on the internet on any one or all of these channels.